All right, today I'm going to make a sauce that is similar to RSO. I don't know if you're from New England, you can get RSO up there. It's a garlic-based Chinese sauce. It looks red. They put that on the pork roast and it's tasty as well. This is a homemade recipe from my husband. We can't get RSO down here unless we have it shipped, but I'm going to make this sauce for the pork. So it's like it's going to be a Chinese pork roast, basically. So what you see here is I've got 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and I put in 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I mix it together because I didn't want any lumps. So one hint: don't let that sit on your counter too long before you mix it up, because it will start to do its thing, and you don't want that because then you're going to get lumps. But I'm going to post the recipe on the screen for you, but I'm going to read it. So in this cup, there's 1/2 cup of honey and 1/2 cup of hoisin sauce. And let's see what else I have here. I have brown sugar, 3 tablespoons. I have, in this container over here, I have a 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic powder, red cayenne pepper, pumpkin pie spice, and cinnamon. And again, that's 1/4 cup of tomato paste. And in this container here is, let's see, that's my 1/4 cup of cooking wine. And I put in there as well 4 teaspoons of vegetable oil. I'm combining a lot of these things together ahead of time. So again, I have 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I have 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in here. As you can see, here's my list. I'm going to put it on the screen for you. And I'm going to mix everything together. I'm going to put it on the stove. And I'm going to heat it until it's slightly thick. I'm not going to boil it. But again, I'll read quickly. 1/2 cup of honey, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of hoisin sauce, 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic powder, red cayenne pepper, pumpkin pie spice, and cinnamon. 4 teaspoons of vegetable oil, 1/4 cup of cooking wine, 1/4 cup of tomato paste, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 1/4 cup of soy sauce. So again, here's my ingredients kind of spread out here. And here's my brown sugar. I don't want to forget that. So everything's going to go in here, and I'm going to cook it until it's slightly thick, but it's not going to boil. And then I'm going to show you later how we put it on the pork roast and put it in the oven and what it looks like afterwards. So let you just watch for a second while I combine these ingredients. There goes soy sauce and cornstarch. There goes our brown sugar. There goes, our cooking wine. There goes our tomato paste. And this recipe calls for food coloring, red food coloring, but I'm not going to put that in there. I don't want to put any of that in my ingredients. It's because the RSO sauce, if you've ever seen it, it's RSO. It sounds just like that. AHSO is how they spell it. It's got like a red-pink look to it. But again, I don't want that. Scoop up anything left of that. And here goes our hoisin and honey. There we go. And this is honey that my daughter sent me. It's Chinese honey. She got in the a Chinese grocery store. And it has a real different flavor. I don't know what it is, but so there you go. So I'm going to cook all this on the stove. And I'm not going to forget my spices right here. These are all my spices. And I thought it was funny this calls for pumpkin pie spice, but it does. All right, so I'm going to whisk all this together, and I'll put it on the stove, and I'll let you see what it looks like when it's done cooking. Because again, I'm not going to bring it to a boil. I'm just going to get it so it's nice and combined together. Because you can see, really thick. Let me just clean up this little mess right here. There we go. And it smells great. All right, so I'm going to put it on the stove. There's my spices, and make sure this is combined nicely. I may transfer this to a larger saucepan, I don't know. All right, so you'll be able to see this when it's done. Well, here it is. It's warmed up and combined together, as you can see. I put it through a sieve to make sure that there wasn't anything like some cornstarch or spices that didn't dissolve good enough. But I'll tell you one thing, it's like a heavy barbecue sauce. And I tasted it, and boy, that cayenne pepper. So if you don't like a lot of cayenne pepper, reduce it from that quarter teaspoon, actually half teaspoon, and reduce it to quarter teaspoon or not at all. Because I'll tell you, it's spicy. But nonetheless, everything's nice and combined, and see how it's coated to the spoon? So when I get the pork roast ready to coat, I'll show you that. Okay, so I'm ready to put this in the oven. This is my pork roast. As you can see, fat side up. And I'm gonna just spoon on some of this sauce. As you can see, a little bit of moisture there. Good, I would say, because there's plenty left to save. It's leftover, you can freeze it too. So I'm just going to spoon this around so my hands don't get all dirty, because I gotta touch my camera, but not dirty, but full of sauce. So I'm gonna flip it over and just make sure I got plenty of sauce on here. So I'm just gonna rub that all around with the spoon. So, and you don't want to touch raw pork onto your hands too long. You can look up why. I won't tell you why, but it's I've always been told don't touch raw pork very long with your hands. And so we have plenty of sauce on there, as you can see. So I'm going to take this and put it in a roasting pan that I sprayed with vegetable oil, as you can see. And I'm just going to take that extra sauce, we'll slather it right on there. That's going to be excellent. Make a nice thick coating on there. See how nice this sticks? There we go. There we go. Alright, I'm not going to cover it because it's got plenty of sauce on it. And I'm going to make sure I frost it on there a little bit. There we go. And the spoon is nice because you can spoon that right on there like that. Alright. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All that good sauce on there. I would say it's a good half cup or more of sauce. And then you got plenty of sauce left over that I plan to maybe use later in the week, but no more than 3 days. Before 3 days, I'm going to put it in the freezer. Okay, so I'm going to roast this at 325 for an hour. It's about 2 pounds, and I'll check it in half an hour to see the temperature. I want internal temperature 165. So I'll show you when it's done. Okay, here it is all done. As you can see, it looks very lean, very juicy, and it worked out great. So you get to try this sauce yourself. Very easy, a lot of ingredients, but be patient and have these ingredients in your cabinet because you can really use them down the road. Well, thanks for watching.